A few barren rocks in the East Sea have reignited a fierce diplomatic firestorm. Japan says Takeshima is inherent Japanese territory. South Korea answers instantly, Dokdo is Korean, full stop, as both sides harden their stance. US bombers, Chinese carriers, and Russian patrols crowd the surrounding skies. A decades-old feud now collides with a region on edge, and every word lands like a warning shot. A long-standing territorial dispute between Japan and South Korea has flared again, this time triggered by remarks from Tokyo's Prime Minister as regional tensions mount over Chinese and Russian military activities in nearby waters. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, who stirred controversy with China last month over comments about Taiwan, has now drawn Seoul's ire with her latest territorial assertion. The row centers on a set of rocky outcrops in the East Sea that South Korea controls, but Japan claims as its own. Seoul calls them Dokdo, Japan knows them as Takeshima, and international maps mark them as the Lion Court Rocks.
Takeshima, which belongs to Okinoshima town in Shimane Prefecture, is clearly an inherent territory of Japan based on historical facts and international law. Based on this fundamental position, we will continue to respond resolutely.
Takaichi, who assumed office in October, said her government would respond calmly and continue efforts to ensure an accurate understanding of Japan's position both at home and abroad. Seoul rejected the claim within hours. A senior official at the presidential office stated there was no ambiguity about who controlled the rocky outcrops.
Dokdo is an integral part of Korean territory historically, geographically, and under international law.
The pushback marks the strongest response from President Lee Jae-myung's administration since he took office in June. Seoul insists no territorial dispute exists and has vowed to respond sternly to what it calls unjust Japanese claims. The islets sit roughly midway between South Korea's Ulleungdo Island and Japan's Oki Islands. South Korea has maintained effective control since the early 1950s, stationing police officers and government personnel on the rocks alongside the Seoul civilian resident Kim Sin-yeol. According to South Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, approximately 26 people, including 20 police officers, 2 lighthouse managers, and 3 government staff live on the islets as of October. Japan argues that historical records, including its 1905 incorporation of the islets into Shimane Prefecture, support its sovereignty. Tokyo has repeatedly proposed referring the matter to the International Court of Justice, but Seoul refuses on the grounds that doing so would legitimize a dispute it does not recognize. The territorial question has poisoned relations between the two American allies repeatedly in recent weeks. But despite the friction, both governments say they intend to maintain diplomatic momentum. The territorial spat unfolds against a backdrop of rising military activity across the region. US nuclear-capable bombers flew over the Sea of Japan alongside Japanese fighter jets on December 10th in a show of force following joint Chinese and Russian drills. 2 American B-52 strategic bombers joined 3 Japanese F-35 stealth fighters and 3 F-15 jets in what Tokyo described as a demonstration of readiness. The flight came after Chinese aircraft carrier operations prompted Japan to scramble jets earlier this week, with Tokyo accusing Chinese forces of targeting its aircraft with radar beams during the encounter. The display followed a joint flight of Chinese and Russian strategic bombers in the East China Sea and Western Pacific on December 9th. South Korea also scrambled fighter jets when the Chinese and Russian aircraft entered its air defense identification zone, underscoring how quickly regional flashpoints can multiply across Northeast Asia's crowded skies.